Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl EKay, and welcome to another episode of EKay's Corner. Today's episode is going to be very interesting. We're gonna jump right into it. I didn't want to do an intro today or waste any time. I really wanted to just kind of jump into the subject on today. I have my co-host with me, Mr. JJ.
What's going on? How's everybody doing?
And today I have the honor and the privilege to have my brother with me.
What up? What up?
Mr. J Bowie. I just call him Bowie, that's it. I don't even call him by his first name.
Don't nobody call
with
him
a
by
bunch
first
of
name.
exclamation points. And
Right.
he's like, huh? Always, he know I need something, want something, something. It's always something. Thank you for being here with us today.
I'm excited to be
You
on
are?
the other side of the camera.
I know. He's always
Used to
this
seeing,
is the
used to
man.
seeing him over there giving us hand signals.
Right. This is the man behind the madness, the magic, and the beauty of this particular podcast, along with other things that he does. We're gonna give the people a small intro. I mean, because I need them to know
On
who
the
you
spot.
are.
Wow. So, proud owner of Tri-Media's Soul,
Yes.
LLC. We do, photography, videography, podcast, production, directing, whatever it is that you need, we do.
And
Been
they
doing
do
this.
it well.
God has been graceful.
He
God
has.
has been graceful. The exciting thing about doing this is I jumped into it while getting fired from something, and that was probably the best
Doesn't
thing.
it always
One
happen
door,
like that?
one
though?
door
Ever
closed,
happened.
another door opens.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, just for any of you out there that are like, do I want to jump into it? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Luckily, I was doing something when that red notice came. You know what I mean? And so, and God, when you're in your lane, gotta make it make sense.
He sure will.
When you're in your lane, gotta make it make sense. So yeah, that's
It may not make sense right away, but eventually it will make sense. Wow. Okay. And I'm not gonna have you reintroduce yourself because people they know you from the last. No, go ahead. Tell the people just in case we got some.
I
new-
am JJ Johnson. I am a proud father, a proud son and brother to my brother and sister, and I'm happy to be here.
That's so
and that's
nice.
it.
He plugged in the siblings. That is so
right.
sweet.
So I ain't doing neither one of mine.
I mean, and none of mine, and I got a slew. I love y'all though.
Yeah.
Okay, fellas. So
What's going on with you this week?
listen, let's jump into this.
Yeah,
okay.
tell them what the text message was. Well, this is
Why are we here?
right?
Okay, so y'all already. Whew, this is about to be real good, y'all. Okay, so I text them. We were supposed to do something else today, and we kind of had to change the trajectory of the show on today because of some other things. But I'm kind of glad because this is a subject that I really wanted to talk about. And didn't really know how to approach it, and I didn't want to approach it by myself. So I was really excited, that I had some folk to bounce this off of. So today's subject is being ghosted.
Okay.
All right.
And I kind of want to tag that into a later show where we'll talk about loyalty because I feel like that kind of goes, hand in hand, side by side. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are we talking from personal experience? Why are we talking about ghosting?
Yes. Okay. So let me be transparent. Y'all already know me. I don't want to cuss and act like where I'm from. But I feel, let me just say that I feel like I am currently being ghosted with my situationship that I currently have.
What makes you feel like you've been ghosted?
That's a great question.
Now y'all know. Okay, so let me just. Okay, I'm gonna tell my story because he probably listening.
Or watching.
Right.
And why is it a situationship? Why is it not defined? Situationship is so vague.
It is vague and it's sad. And the truth is I the underline of me is I feel like I'm worthy of a real relationship. I'm worth a real relationship because I'm a good person. I'm a good woman. I'm a good mom. But at the same time, I still battle with self-esteem and stuff like that. So when I still battle with those things, it kind of makes me, you know, lower
Go
my
in,
and not
turn
necessarily
inward.
lower my standards, but put up with more things than I probably should.
Doubt probably creeps in. Maybe this, maybe
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Absolutely. And I can, talk a real good game. But at the same time, and I think this is for everybody because we want to be encouraging to people. We want to speak life into people. You want to speak life into yourself as well. But at the same time, sometimes you have those moments where you feel like you're backed into a corner. And it's kind of like, okay, now I don't really know what to do. And I try to dig in my little bag.
The Birdman
Of
hand.
stuff.
JJ Vines hurting right now. JJ, go ahead, go.
Right here.
Well, here's my thing. Okay, so let me give you my history. And for those of you who are listening, y'all know me. Erica is that chick that stay to herself. I normally stay to myself. I am a homebody all day long. I go and I work. If you see me, it's probably because I'm working.
Okay.
If I'm not working, you're not going to see me because normally I'm just not out there doing stuff unless I'm supporting a friend or something like that because I do love to support my friends. So in that instance, you might see me. And then if you do, I'm dipping in and I'm dipping out because I don't like drama and I don't like, and it's mainly drama. I'm in the music industry. That is
Chaotic.
very chaotic. It's very chaotic.
Toxic.
So it's very toxic
Very
as
toxic.
well.
Okay.
So I'm always around the same type of people, right? So my daughter's dad is a musician. You know what I mean? So I'm always within the same circle of folk. I'm always around the same type of people. So I have the same kind of habits. You know what I mean? And you try to break them or whatever, but it's really hard when you're surrounded by the same type of people. So for me, I feel like every situation that I have been in life, which is really, really sad. I literally was just praying about this, asking God, like, what's really going on? I feel like I've been ghosted.
What
And all
signs
of
is
them.
this person giving you that you feel like you're being
Definitely
ghosted?
was red flags present before.
Definitely. And I didn't really understand it at first. I didn't know what was going on. I thought maybe I was supposed to try harder or I was supposed to do something differently. Maybe I'm not being a good woman. Maybe I'm not doing the things that they're expecting. Maybe I'm not giving them what they're looking for, but in turn I found out none of that was true because they always come back every single last.
I have my thoughts on some stuff,
One of
but I'm
them.
gonna let JJ go first.
You said maybe this and maybe, how do we know if we're not having the intentional conversation? First of all, what are we doing that we can't label this something other than a situation?
that part, and I blame Facebook for that.
Yeah, I do too. I do because I think
'Cause
this stuff has always existed. We just didn't know what to call it.
Well, because Facebook
hasn't-
started the whole what's your relationship status? Is either single, married, in a relationship. Then they started hitting with it's complicated.
Yeah.
They started
It's
making it
complicated,
socially
definitely.
okay to be okay not having a title on something, which in regards, it shouldn't be a title if there's nothing to be involved in, if that makes sense.
That's true.
And so I'm like you, JJ, what is it about whatever said man or whatever this cataclysm was that it couldn't be defined? Because anything that can't be defined is foreign.
Right.
And it leaves you to a bunch of vagueness. Now we're just out here drifting, and we don't know what it is we're doing, and we don't know why we're doing it.
Right.
Versus having an intentional conversation. What are you looking for? I'm just looking to date, or I'm just looking for just to have fun. But if you're looking for something serious, now our intentions don't align. So maybe this
That's
ain't the
true.
best time for us.
And see, and I can say, okay, because I'm a communicator. That's my love language. My love language is communication. Talk to me. You don't have to be up under me. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time with me. I don't always have to know where you are because I need my space as well. But my thing is if you communicate to me, then you don't take my choices away from me. And I feel like when you don't talk to me and you don't tell me the truth about whatever might be going on, you don't give me the benefit of the doubt and you take my choice away from me because then I'm put into a situation when I don't really know what's going on and I make decisions based upon what you're telling me or what you think I want to hear because you don't want to lose me. And I'm telling you this because these are the back conversations that have happened after the fact,
So as I talk to you right now, do you know what his interests are? What does he want out of his connection with you?
Great question.
That is a good one because I've asked that question.
What did you get back?
And I got back, well, I'm not he doesn't want to be in a relationship right now.
Stop right there. So does E keep going? Like, I'm with somebody who has just told me I don't want to be in a relationship. So one, why am I here? What am I looking for? And does it match with what he said?
Right.
And if I keep going, then now the onus shifts from him over to this side of the table. Because he told me, he told me either through his words or even through his non-words, things that he didn't say, what he was and wasn't looking for. And I kept going. I saw the red flags and I sped right through that stop sign.
Right. Yeah, because I'm too nice.
But see, here's the thing. Once being too nice will turn a person into damaged goods.
Right.
And what's happening is that because you desire relationship, because you desire partnership, you want that. You want what that feels like. You're not listening to the rejection.
Right.
And so the challenge with that is this. If they want to have fun, great. You go have recess while I go take care of my business.
But Erica might want to have fun too. And then now we both in the same space at the same time, and we want the same thing.
That's if she want it. But you got to be honest about that. You're not saying that just because you don't want to lose out on a situation.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, if you're
but
really
I feel
saying,
like that's what I get back. Like, I'm trying to keep you around, so I feel like I get, let me say this or let me say that, because I don't want to lose you, because I don't really know what decisions I want to make. And so I'm just like,
maybe before we enter into the dating space, we decide what it is we want before we step out there. So I'm asking you, now that you are actively dating, what are you looking for?
Listen, I ain't gonna tell y'all my age, but y'all probably already know. I mean, I'm at a place in my life right now where I want to get married. Like, I have that desire. I have the desire to get married. I have a desire to have a family. I have a desire to grow old with someone, to share my life with someone.
Can I stop you right there? Are you okay with actually saying that in the first interaction with a person? When you meet for coffee, when you meet for tea?
Absolutely.
So wait,
those are the conversations. Because I even had this conversation with this particular young man. I said, I told you from jump what I wanted. I said this. I said that. I was very clear. I felt like there were some barriers, you know what I mean, in the beginning. So I was like, because I can see certain things, I'm telling you now, this is what I would like, this is what I want, or whatever, because I feel like this is going to be a problem in the long run. And I'm not throwing all fault or all blame on him at all.
And that's fair.
Because I could have made a choice when I saw certain things to back off, but I have a whole lot of grace, and sometimes that's my default, and that's what gets me into situations that end up being super hurtful, because I can't see past the fact that I want to have grace for this person, or I want to be, what they need, their sense of peace and all of this stuff, and I can't. I feel like it's because I wasn't properly taught certain things. As a woman, from a male perspective, like my dad, he was an amazing man. He really was. But my father, we didn't have the relationship conversations all the time. We didn't have, this is what you should look for. This is what you should look out for. This is what, you know what I'm saying? So there were I went into the world as a grown woman, shocked as crap.
But men come to the same space. Single men, especially young men and even older men, aren't having those conversations either. Right. So we enter into this space trying to literally, figure it out. So it is actually our job and our responsibility to unlearn the horrible habits that we learned from our uncles and grandfathers and dads and relearn them the proper way. A lot of people come into this space bringing their trauma, bringing their what is it called? When they've been their abandonment issues, they bring them in, and you know what? I saw some signs that he was giving me. I'm gonna ghost her before she ghosts me.
That part,
right?
Because
I be wondering, cause
man,
y'all, listen to the homies. Y'all like the crazy ones. I don't be understanding that. It's like, it's the ones who beat you down. It's the crazy ones. It's the ones who do all. And this is just from what I've seen and what I've witnessed and what I've been a part of. It's like, y'all get a good woman in your life, and those are the ones that you toss to the trash. And then you have these women who take you for everything you got, who don't care about who you are. They talk down to you. They make you feel this kind of way, whatever. And this is just from experience and just like I said, from things that I've seen. And those are the ones that y'all cling to.
Man.
And
those
social
are the ones
media
y'all
teaches
keep
us.
around.
Social media teaches us that those actions that you just outlined, that those actions are okay. And like I said, they are not. If you're coming into a space and you want to leave a person better than what you found them, then your intentions is not to harm them.
But see, I'm sick of grooming dudes for other
So,
women.
No,
I'm
I'm about to now listen.
tired of that making you better for somebody else.
JJ, how old are you, sir?
I turned 50 in a couple of weeks.
All right, I just turned 36 a few weeks ago. Right.
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Let's go back to his conversation. I can't speak for everybody, but my dad didn't sit down and talk to me about relationships. But I watched how he treat my mom.
Gotcha.
And they've been together for 30-something years. That's my story. That ain't everybody's story.
Right.
I've also had uncles and my grandparents. They were married for 40, 50, 60 years. So I saw things. I also saw some things that I was like, I ain't going to carry this into what I got. The beautiful thing about not having certain things is you don't have to unlearn certain traits.
Right.
So you
I
have
never looked at
a
it that
clear
way.
landscape.
Yeah.
But the disadvantage to that is you have never experienced a track record of what sustainability of love is.
Right.
And so since you haven't seen that in your direct circle, now you're forced to look at other outliers to get motivation. Hence, back then, my early years, we didn't have social media to glean from.
Right.
We had
Exactly.
the Cosby Show. You had Martin. You had what? Give me some other shows. Rock. Like you had
Right.
black
Family
shows.
Matters.
Bernie Mac. Like you
Yeah.
had shows where black families were together.
together.
Like we
Right.
got shown that. So people can say what they want to say about Cosby. That's on some other stuff. He
Right.
presented us something.
He definitely
that,
did.
that if you
He
didn't
presented
have
black
exposure
excellence.
to it, bam. But it goes back to this. Accountability
Yeah.
and toxicity are crossing over, and people are trying to use those words interchangeably, when the truth is, it's a person individual problem.
Right.
And we have to be okay once we see the red flags to be okay to walk away. Because here's the thing about ghosting. Most men ghost because we don't want to tell you the truth.
Right.
Most women ghost.
And that sucks though. Tell me, talk to me.
because we can't talk to you like y'all talk to us.
And I've been told that before. Like it's you know how to talk through things, but I'm not always able to to say, or I'm not always
we
able
aren't-
to
we aren't taught that.
articulate. I get that. I understand that. But my thing is if I ask a question, or if I come to you, or if I say, this is this or this is that, don't ignore me. Don't even if you don't know what to say. I'd rather you say, I don't know what to say in this moment.
But are you honest about that though?
Me, yes.
But
because I've been through enough at the age that I am now to be like, okay.
You just put
I'll
all your
give
wisdom on life experience. I would actually like to learn it without having to go through the hardships.
I want to learn it that
you
way
know-
too, but it seemed like for me, the way my life has been set up, I'm having to go through the experience to learn it, not be able to read about it or to, hear from somebody else's experience or whatever. I feel like I'm marked for having to go through crap, and I hate that.
Or you attract what you just desire. I mean, I try to be really purposeful and intentional in how I move, and guess what
Right.
that does? That attracts people who live and who operate the same way.
But see, JJ, I'm hot or cold, right?
Okay.
And there's no in between for me. And that may not be the best trait, but I'm either hot or I'm cold. I'm either for you or I'm not for you.
How do you
that
figure that
whole
out?
in between, because of the things that I've been through, right? Like I've gotten to a point where being in the middle is not a good place. I end up in situations like this.
In the middle
When
is
I'm
called
in
a
the middle.
situationship.
Right,
You're either
that's what I'm
doing this
saying.
Or
That's-
doing that, and in the middle is called the
So
situationship.
there's
Right, and
something
so I gotta
inside
be-
of you that think that you're hot or cold, but you're still playing in the middle.
So what that
So is that same Gene that think I'm gangster.
Yes.
I mean, because
What-
I am.
What that means is that we have to have some intentional conversations. I have to ask some pertinent questions so I can identify what it is you're looking for. And if it doesn't match what I'm looking for, then this isn't right. And we have to have the
Right.
strength
I
and the
agree.
discipline to walk away from this.
You're right.
So
A lot of times
You are right.
we're leading with the pleasure that actually brings us into the space. Now,
right.
now I've done the pleasurable
now,
thing with you.
Now you're talking, JJ.
Now we've done the pleasurable thing. I know I need to leave. Ooh,
Right.
but that thing we did, boy, I'm having a tough time.
Right.
Because anything feels good when you hadn't had it in a long time.
That too.
So be careful what you chew on when you haven't
But my thing,
been
dude,
eating.
and I don't know.
So here's the thing.
Just
Erica.
don't tell me. I just hate for you to tell me things that you don't mean. Like, don't tell me you love me. Don't tell me.
That
you
is
know,
what men do.
Like, if
that
you
have
don't-
not had any success in being committed to anything that is of the female origin.
This is really tough.
Woo,
I
it is.
think
And I'm
I mean,
now JJ, I'm because I've been married. I've been married 11 or 12 years this year.
Okay.
okay.
11 to 12 years. Never had any issues with other outer relationships, anything of that nature.
Okay.
I knew at a young age I didn't want to be single in my older years. Granted, I don't take for instance that life happens. I understand that we change as people, and sometimes if the other party ain't growing with the other party, that's going to create.
Sometimes you evolve, and sometimes you're not exactly evolving together. You evolve
agree.
in opposite directions
agree.
if you're pursuing what you're designed to be in life.
So my question is, JJ, from your perspective, somebody that has you've been single,
Been married,
married,
I've been in
and now
long
you've
relationships.
been divorced,
Correct.
and so are you actively dating right now?
Actively, yeah.
And so, kind of expound upon, because I feel like not many women understand how important it is to have that uncomfortable conversation in the first interaction.
I think that's amazing. First of all, I believe in not bringing my
We need to
not
hear.
not bringing my my fake person to the table. I'm not bringing my representative. I like having that intentional conversation. Let's not bring our that person to the table. Let's bring our authenticity. Oh, fuck, how we can cut this out?
Authenticity. I
Thank
got
you. You want to cut this that part out, but anyway, God darn it! I'm sorry, L.
You good? You good?
But-
It's okay. It's a real show. It's
But
okay.
anyway, I believe that you can actually have authentic conversation and disagree and not see eye to eye.
Absolutely. See, that's what I feel the same way. I feel like you can have those authentic conversations and say certain things. But I see, I'm learning where I'm at fault. I'm seeing certain things, but also trying to figure out how to navigate through them in order not to be in those situations again. You know
So
what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you one thing you're gonna probably need is therapy.
Well, I go to therapy, because therapy.
Yeah, but see, therapy, you got therapy for the holistic individual.
Yeah.
And until you fix those doubts, insecurities, those things, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it looks. If the spirit realm can show what dating looks like, it looks like this. Watch this.
Y'all can't see him, but this is funny.
And scene.
Answer right.
So I'm Erica, and
Yep.
I want a relationship. I want this. I'm not putting up with that, and I'm not doing this. This is what I'm looking for. I'm new and improved. But what is this?
That's your emotional baggage.
Gotcha.
Talk about it.
So I'm bringing it, but I'm not talking about it. I'm not opening it up.
So then it might not be on the table. It might be like this. Everything went great.
Yeah.
That sucker is right here. Like I'm at the
So
airport.
I believe in asking vetting, probing questions. So when you're sitting at the table in that first conversation, it's okay to ask that question because one, we're both black, we're both of a certain age, so it's acceptable to say that you and I are probably dealing with some type. What's your trauma that you're dealing with right now, and be okay with sharing that back and forth.
Yeah.
I come from a family where both my parents were together well into my 20s, so I saw what it looked like to have two people together sharing love and being caring about each other.
Yeah.
And
And that's all I
the
know.
next person shared where that person comes. I don't know my dad. Now
Yeah.
we know what to tackle.
We know what challenges we face.
Absolutely.
Ahead of the time.
Yeah.
But everything in life is a fear-based decision. Either I'm afraid of that I tell her this and she's not going to want to spend any more time with me, or I'm afraid if I say this, then that's going to draw her closer to me and she might think we want to get married. Everything is a fear-based decision, and we are scared of having uncomfortable conversations.
So is that what creates narcissistic people?
Well, that can start it, but
I feel
think,
like that's woo.
But I feel like that's a whole other conversation.
We'll have that one later.
And I feel like we all have a form of narcissism.
Absolutely.
But let's just table that
With
conversation. Table that.
We'll save that for the loyalty.
We have to be completely honest about what we are willing to put up with.
Yeah.
As a team. Because if I tell you something traumatic, and psychologically, you might be physically attracted to said individual, but something lets off in your mind where you know it's going to bother you, you have to be okay with walking away.
And that's where I'm at. I think it's the walking away part, because of everything that I've been through, the fear of having to start over again. And I'm like, dang it, I gotta start over again. I don't like, because I always have this whole perspective, because I think about my daughter in the same light, having to introduce her to someone again, or having her, because I've been that person that I'm like, you're not gonna see nobody walking in and out of this house. You're not gonna see me do, none of that. And so I've limited myself, because I call myself trying to protect her and what she sees, because I don't want her, unfortunately, I can't stop it, but I don't want her to have to go through the same things that I've gone through to this extent. I know that there are some things that we have to learn as children, because I believe that I'm going through what I went through because I didn't get the proper conversations from my parents, like what my dad went through with my mom as to why they got, a divorce or whatever. All I saw was the joy on the other side, because him and my stepmom have been married they've been together since I can remember. You know what I mean? So that's the picture I have. I don't have any pictures of him and my
Do you feel like they shielded you from the work that it actually takes to have an aesthetically healthy marriage? On the outside, their union looked great, but nobody ever sees the work that goes on behind the scenes.
And see, that's the thing. There was a lot of stuff that we didn't see. So my father shielded us from a lot, and I felt like my dad was uncomfortable having certain situations. Now, my mom, on the other hand, she pulled me to the side. And when I say my mom, I'm talking about my stepmom, because that's the house that I grew up in. So she, would have these, side conversations with us to kind of help us, and, to kind of say, okay, this is what he means when he says, this, or this is what's going on. But it was like, even though it was good and it was helpful, because she still does that to me now, look for this, and this is what's going on. It was helpful at the time, but I felt like it didn't completely prepare me, because I felt like the conversations were kind of like one-sided. My dad, to me, was that person, do as I say and not as I do kind of person. And I feel like it was just
actions that speak louder.
Right. And I feel like it was a default for him.
But this is what I'm out here doing.
Right. And so there were a lot of things. There were a lot of things that I just went into the world not knowing. Like, it was, I don't know. I feel like I was traumatized by not knowing. You know what I mean?
I think that you have some deep rooted issues.
Right.
No. Not in a bad way. I just think that there's some things that, we know how to block certain things out from our childhood.
Yes.
I think there's certain in your childhood that you blocked out that needs to be unlocked so you can see.
See, that's what my counselor told me. Write stuff down. See, I'm that person that writes things down, and I try to go back and analyze. But this situation that I'm currently in right now, this has opened up some stuff within myself that I didn't really know existed, and then stuff that I refused to face previously.
All right.
So now I'm like, Erica, no, you have to face this. You've done too much. Because I'm that person, I'm going to go out of my way for you. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You don't have to ask me. I'm going to always be there for you. I'm always loyal. But what has slapped me in my face is the fact that I didn't get it back, right?
Okay.
I didn't get the loyalty back. I didn't get I'm going to be there for you when you need me back. And that is what drop me to my knees.
And if you don't do the work of unpacking that before you connect yourself with somebody else, you are actually just bringing that person down. So let's talk about some of the effects of what ghosting does. Ghosting actually ruins that person for their next partner.
Absolutely.
Somewhere out there, your partner potentially could be potentially being ghosted by someone, but they're going to bring that into their space with you if they don't sit with it and try to resolve it. They can avoid it, and avoidance is a false sense of control. Oh, I just don't go to those places anymore, and I'm healthy. No,
Right.
you actually have to sit in that space and and then participate in the conversation with yourself. What role did I play possibly in the ghosting?
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Was
now
I
I'm
not
checking
interesting?
myself.
Was I not interesting enough? Was I not engaging enough?
Yeah.
For whatever the reason is. A lot of times I actually think, and here's another reason, I think that we give a lot of energy to our aesthetics and how we look. Either the BBLs or the makeup and the hair. We put a lot of attention on the aesthetic outside. How much work are we putting on the substance? I got him to come over and talk to me. I got her to come over and talk to me. How do I keep that person here and how do I keep them engaged? If we're not doing the internal work, then once they start having a conversation with me, like, oh, I wonder why they didn't call me back.
And see, mine is the opposite.
I don't have nothing to talk about.
Right. And see, mine is the opposite. I feel like I do the internal work. You know what I mean? So then I question the exterior. I question, well, shoot, was I not pretty enough? Did I not?
So
did I not dress well enough? Did I not?
Now we're talking about a whole different topic because now what he's talking about is that outside, that inside bleeding out.
Right. And like
so,
that's what I was saying. Mine is the opposite.
And so you have to, Erica, any woman
Oh, you're breaking the fourth wall?
or
That's what you're
man, or a man, because how much time we probably over our time. It don't matter. But any woman or man has to be okay with not being okay
Yeah.
with who they are. It's like going to the most beautiful house in the world, and you see this house, and outside is great. The landscape is phenomenal. What you don't know is there's all kind of crap on the inside that has been smoldering in this heat. And that when you kick
Mold
that
and
door
everything
open,
else.
it looks disgusting on the inside.
Yeah.
And that's what humans are putting out because they haven't cleaned up the inside. And so this is what I would say. If you are not sure about your insides, it is okay to say, you know what? Maybe I don't need to be on the dating market right now.
People don't do that. We like to give the perception that I'm perfect and I got all my stuff together. You said yourself that you are a communicator, and part of being a good communicator is asking tough questions and being prepared for the tough answer that might come back, not just to the other person across the table, but asking the tough questions of yourself.
And that's.
Am I ready to be out here?
Exactly. Now I can admit that is where my fault is. It's because I can ask someone else the tough questions and get the tough answers and not internalize them or actually use them as a thing. But I don't ask myself. So I'm learning to check myself.
And then taking action on when the answer comes back to you, what action do I need to take?
Yeah.
Based on what that person gave me or what the answer I take.
You see what the shirt says? We gotta
Yeah,
go.
it's bound.
We gotta go.
I know, right?
says?
No,
Let me
it
just
does. It's for those of you who cannot see. It says boundaries in bold, and then it says number 1, set them, and number 2, stand on
Guess
them.
what? Tim Ross has got a video out right now where he talks about love has boundaries.
Yeah.
He said even God has boundaries set within the love that he has for us. Boundaries protect us from infiltration.
Yeah.
And once you've been infiltrated, you have to set the boundaries until you clean out the mess of the past.
Y'all helping me.
I'm speaking to myself. I just don't ever want to be saying that.
I think all of these, this entire conversation it's helpful for the people sitting at the table. Hopefully it's helpful for the people who are watching.
I really do, man.
And listening
I
to
really
this.
do. I really do hope that it is, because I know that my life is made up of things that I have to go through in order to either prevent or help someone else that may either be going through or keep them from going through it. And I do pray. Like, you hate the struggle. Like, I hate the struggle. I hate to have to go through, but I also know that pure gold isn't gold without fire.
The struggle is part of the process. The struggle is what molds you into who you're going to be on the other side of this thing.
And I have to accept that. And I'm that person like, dude, do I have to go through it? Like, can I just, get to the other side and be okay and not be pressed?
You ever know somebody who actually gets in a car accident and in the midst of the car accident, standing on the side of the road next to their crumpled up car, and just say, thank you, God. Not just because I'm just okay, but thank you for putting me through this tribulation because it's going to prepare me for what that blessing is that you have for me. We're unable to see that far down the road. We always want to see just right here and like, why is this happening to me? Versus, I appreciate that this is happening to me because it's molding me into what you have prepared for me later.
In hindsight, because see, I'm the kind of person I'll decompress and I'll have that conversation with myself. But I'm learning how to do things differently when I'm faced with those same tests because I know how God handles me, and I know that I'm that person that has to come back to certain things when I didn't get it the first time. And there are people out there in the world who are like me, who just can't get away from the hand of God. And you have to go through certain things over and over because and it's not just because it's that same lesson, but there are tiny or smaller or bigger other lessons within that lesson, and you're learning things. I know that there are certain things that I didn't get this last time around that I had to get. And it's insane because going through what I'm going through right now, trying to understand it, because I refuse to ask the question why.
Why not?
Well, I didn't want to go to him and ask why. You know what I mean?
He's the only person that can give you the answer.
But when you see me, when you ignore me or when you treat me the opposite of what I've done for you, I end up shutting down. And I end up shutting down because I feel like, okay, I can't live like this. I don't want to live upset. I don't want to be mad. I don't want to take out my anger. I don't want to give this to anybody else. Right. So if I feel like it's going that way, I'll end up shutting down so that I can heal. You know what I mean? In order to keep going. I'm like, okay, I got to let it go. I got to this, I got to that. Because it's only so many times. Like if I'm texting you or if I'm calling you or I'm trying to have a conversation with you and you're not responding to me.
Sign. EKay red flags, but let me keep texting though.
No, I'm going to stop. That's the thing.
Great.
I'm not going to text anymore. I may have, like I said, I have that question like, why? What in the world? Because I thought we was good. I thought we were cool. I thought we was best friends. Like you know what I'm saying? And everything was good when you needed me. And now on the flip side, when I need you, you're nowhere to be found.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dude, like,
can we normalize?
I'm not the only one. Yes.
Can we normalize not giving relationship habits to situationships?
Absolutely.
No, can we just not have situationships?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
both. No.
If it's a friendship, then that has boundaries. I'm not coming to look out for you like that, fam.
Yes.
No.
Can we just work on just being good humans to other people? I'm going to treat you like I want you to treat me. And if
that's not being reciprocated, I'm okay with walking away.
And that's where I'm at.
Even after I have a conversation, I don't feel like this is working. I'm finding myself feeling a way that's not comfortable for me. Yep. I think it's okay if we just stop. Now, you didn't ghost him either. Y'all made a mutual decision to actually.
For me, it was fear, though. For me, for me right now, it's the fear of not feeling like I was, because that's where I'm at, on the borderline of feeling like I wasn't enough, I wasn't worthy, not good enough. And then on the flip side, having to start all over again,
because you started bumping
opening up.
I felt like you started bumping up into one of your undefined boundaries. You had drifted into an area where you started not feeling right, where there should probably have been a boundary.
Absolutely.
Kept going, and now why am I in this space? And now you have to make a decision. Versus if you put a healthy boundary there, or whatever, it keeps you from bumping into that.
Absolutely.
You went 3 days. We went 3 days without talking. That doesn't mean going 3 days without talking is not.
It's
you know, it's not.
Yeah,
it's
but
not,
if on the fourth day,
it's nothing.
Right.
If on that morning, that third morning, he didn't get up,
right?
then the resurrection ain't happening.
And maybe that's the other thing. We actually what is this thing that we're doing? Do we have to talk every day?
No.
And maybe we're setting, again, expectations.
Right. And for some people, that is how you have to do it. For me, I'm okay with not talking to you every day. I'm not going to sit up here and trip or think or go and I'm not going to do any of that, because it's, to me, I feel like there's calculated space that I need, and I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
Communicate that to your person.
Right. So, I mean, I'm learning. I just need y'all to know that. I'm learning.
We're getting
and
the wrap up. So when was the last time you talked to this person?
I'm the producer on the other side, like, all right, we got to wrap it up.
Right. We got to wrap it up,
What are your intentions going forward with this thing that you're in to actually help keep yourself healthy?
Yep.
What do you plan to do?
I plan to stay. I don't know. In my head, I want to stay in this place that I'm in. I do have questions.
You just said I don't know.
I know I did say that.
Have an intentional conversation.
And that's okay.
I think that we should take
You
some
don't have
space.
to, if you
and be
said I don't know, just like you said, well, if you just say I don't know, let's leave it at that.
Gotcha.
I don't want you to say anything to make you sound good.
I mean, I feel like there are things that I would like to do, and I want to be. I want to be.
She's trying to
stern.
dress it up. She's trying to put lipstick on it.
Erica, you're putting lipstick on a pig. You're still baking. Feelings. It's your feelings, baby.
It is
It's
emotions.
your feelings. You
I
have
want
to have.
be in
You have to
control
have.
of my emotions.
I want you to go to read a book called Emotional Intelligence 2.0.
Woo!
That is
Y'all
what.
ain't let me have it.
That is what we are lacking as a diaspora.
As a culture.
Is emotional intelligence. That's why therapy is important. We all of us have PTSD in some form.
Yeah.
Just because we didn't go to war, don't mean we ain't been in wars.
You right. Because there's
And
a whole lot of other.
It is emotional intelligence. You have to know. Stop going on your feelings.
Right.
Because Jasmine Sullivan talked about feelings, and it was a lot of hotels.
Oh my God.
It was a lot of stories. It was a lot of conversations. Pun intended. So what I'm saying is, we got to wrap it up. You got to close this out.
Okay.
But, and JJ, give quick last words, 30 seconds. You have to be honest with, if you don't know, leave it at that.
Yeah.
And begin to analyze what it is that you do know.
And AKA analyze. If you are unknowing right now, sit with yourself, process what it is you're feeling, and then make a logical decision away from the emotional space. And I feel like the best thing to do is reach out to that person. I don't think this is working. I think we should take some time apart. I wish you well. Now you've done
shut that down.
And you sent that person off with
I did that already.
with the
I
best
just was
sending it.
asking
Okay,
y'all.
tell people how to
'cause
follow us. And
Right.
I just want y'all to know, like, first of all, thank y'all for tuning in. For real, this conversation has been amazing. And I asked the questions. I've done the work, and I did exactly that. I wish you well. You know what I mean? I had that conversation, and I said, because for me, I felt like I was a burden. And so in order for me not to allow someone to make me feel like a burden when I know I've gone out of my way for you, I'm not going to allow myself to be in that situation or be put in that situation any longer.
Got it.
And so I say, I bid you adieu. I bid you farewell, going about my business. But I wanted to talk about this because even though those are conversations or those are things that I have said, I still had questions. And I wanted to be able to bounce them off of men that I know have been in situations, in relationships, not in relationships, or have dealt with certain things, and to talk about it with women who may have those questions as well, because a lot of times we don't know how to open up. We don't know who to open up to, and then we don't know how to take the truth. I had to take the truth today.
That's called constructive criticism.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with constructive criticism because I give it. So I have to be able to take it as well in situations that I don't have a whole lot of experience in. So I say all that to say, thank you. I appreciate the honesty and the transparency because y'all are helping me. And I'm hoping that this podcast and the subjects that we talk about, not only I wanted it to be things that we talked about that we're actually going through, because I don't like to talk about stuff that I don't have experience in, because I can't help you if I don't know, you know what I'm saying, what it is that's going on. I cannot help you in your situation. If, like, I don't talk to married people because I've never been married.
Right.
But if there's a certain situation or a subject that needs to be talked about, I'm going to make sure that I have people like you here who either are married or have been married and have that experience, so that we can help people. As you all help me, we're helping, people as well. So
Tell the people how to follow you. You gotta go.
I know. I'm sorry, y'all. This was so good.
what happens
And I
when the
promise.
people
how to follow
What happens when the
Okay,
director is sitting on stage with you?
This is exactly what happens. Okay, so thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Follow me
I appreciate you all. Follow us at EKay's Corner. That's EKayCorner. You'll find the information down below. Just follow us. Let us know what you're feeling, how you're doing. We appreciate you. Make sure that you tell a friend. Make sure that you like, make sure you follow, and make sure you share. And thank you so much to my peeps, to my co-hosts. I appreciate you. To my brother, I love you. Thank you for everything. And to all of you, you all have a blessed day, and thank you so much for tuning in. Peace out.
Yeesh.